Hi, VencoreWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Monday, October 3rd. Matthew continues to be the big weather story. It is still a major hurricane, Category 4 hurricane in the Central Caribbean. Very slow mover, will continue to be a slow moving system. That will allow it to have a major impact in some of these Caribbean areas over the next few days, and then the Bahamas island change will get pounded by Matthew for several days on end. Eventually it comes rather close to the southeast U.S. coastline, anywhere from Georgia up to North Carolina, the latter part of the week, early part of the weekend. It looks like at that point it'll tend to want to turn to the north and east, away from the mid-Atlantic coastline. Still lots of questions though, and it's such a slow mover that anything beyond 5 days is certainly not set in stone. This is the latest visible imagery loop of Matthew from the Penn State eWall site. It's a close-up view, and here's what remains of the center right now. Again, just a couple of frames here. It's moving very slowly to the north, and what we have here is Jamaica right here, the eastern part of Cuba right here, and this island is Hispaniola with Haiti right here, Dominican Republic east of Haiti. Haiti, unfortunately, looks like it'll take the brunt of this hurricane over the next couple of days. Typically, the worst side of a hurricane is on the right side of the storm. The storm surge is worst in that particular sector. The winds, the rain, look like it'll really be a big problem for Haiti, especially over the next couple of days. Eastern Jamaica and certainly eastern Cuba will get impacted, but the real fear here is that Haiti will take the brunt of this. And again, given the fact that it's such a slow mover, that just makes problems worse. It'll be a longer lasting time period with the heavy rain and strong winds, and again, the storm surge on the southern part of Haiti. So again, this looks like it'll take the brunt of the action over the next couple of days. Here is the latest official storm track predicted by the National Hurricane Center. They're a branch of NOAA in Miami, and they focus in on the hurricane activity. Again, the current location here right in the central Caribbean Sea. Red here means hurricane warnings. This is Jamaica right here, the eastern half of Cuba. Haiti right in here. And again, I fear that Haiti will take the brunt of this over the next 24, 48, even 72 hours or so, being on the right side of the path of that northward moving storm. Right now it's kind of teetering on the edge between a Category 4, which it is currently classified as, and very close to being diminished to a Category 3. Nonetheless, it's still a major hurricane. Would not be surprised to see it downgraded over the next couple of observations down to a Category 3. Still a major hurricane, and again, storm surge should be worse on the right side of this storm. Haiti could suffer the worst of this over the next few days. Then it moves up over the Bahama Island chain right here, and it should have a significant impact on the Bahama Islands, again, because it's so strong and because it's such a slow mover. Eventually it comes awfully close to the southeast U.S. coastline. South Carolina, North Carolina certainly can have some problems associated with Matthew late this week, early this week, and then there are signs that it could start turning northeast and stay away from the coastline, let's say north of the Outer Banks, mid-Atlantic coastline, for example, but that is still several days away. This is such a slow mover that we very well could be talking about this 1 week from now, the early part of next week. Well, let's take a look at a couple of computer forecast models. This is, first of all, the European model from last night. These maps are available on tropicaltidbits.com. I believe the European has had a better handle on the system so far, and likely will over the next several days, but we'll see the GFS is slightly different, especially north of North Carolina coast. It has much more of an impact on the mid-Atlantic coastline than does the European model. This is the 72-hour forecast for Wednesday night. Still no sign of the storm yet over the northern Bahamas. We'll go ahead another 24 hours. Now here we go. This is the forecast map. Again, last night's 0Z European model run for Thursday evening, and here's where the European has it positioned right now, slowly moving to the north and west over the Bahama Island chain as a strong hurricane. Again, the slow movement will allow for a long period of heavy rain and strong winds, increasing the potential damage that will occur in the Bahama Islands chain, as well as over the next few days across places in the Caribbean like Haiti, for example. High pressure playing a key role here, moving off the northeast coastline by the latter part of the week. Let's jump ahead another 24 hours. Here is the Friday evening forecast map. Again, dangerously close to the southeast U.S. coastline. Certainly could be big impact along the Georgia coast, South Carolina coast, and eventually the North Carolina coastline. We're already 5 days out now because it's such a slow mover, so certainly forecasts have to be taken with a grain of salt beyond this time period. Let's now jump out another 24 hours. Saturday evening, right off the southeast U.S. coastline. That high pressure now moved off the northeast coastline. Let's go out another 24 hours. Then the European model has it starting to pull away, turning to the north and east. Again, there could be a big impact from North Carolina coast down across South Carolina coast and even the eastern part of Georgia here. But by Sunday night, starting to pull away, and it continues on that trek by Monday evening off the well off the mid-Atlantic coastline, and eventually it still is a very slow mover. This is a forecast map for next Tuesday. It's still not too far away, still in the weather picture here a week from now. So again, we'll have to pay attention to this all week and throughout the upcoming weekend. Looks like it'll come close to southeast U.S. coastline and then tend to start to move to the north and east. But some of the weather systems that will affect this are still thousands of miles away, way up in the western part of Canada, for example. A trough or a frontal system might be approaching, and that's what the European model is seeing, that will shun it to the east as it gets up to the latitude north of North Carolina. But given the fact that it's so far away, things can certainly change. Well, before we take a look at last night's GFS model run, here is the storm tracks from the European Ensemble Run from last night. Now, we talk a lot about ensemble runs here in the recent blogs about the hurricane. Both computer centers, the European and the NOAA Center, run an ensemble version of the operational GFS model and the European model. Basically, they tweak the input data, the initialization data slightly, a number of ways, make it a little bit warmer, a little bit drier, a little bit colder, just to see what kind of impact a slight tweak of the initialization data will have on the ultimate run. The European Center does it 50 different members, whereas the NOAA does 20 different members of Ensemble Run. So what we're seeing here are the European 50 different tracks here for the 50 different ensemble members. And the basic mean, or the average of all of these, takes it across eastern Cuba and then over the Bahama Island chain, then dangerously close to the southeast U.S. coastline, and then basically pulls it away off to the north and east. Not many members come all the way inland in the mid-Atlantic region. Again, this is the European model. GFS certainly has more members coming up along the mid-Atlantic coastline. But again, I think the Euro has had a better handle on the situation so far. So that's the basic idea behind ensemble runs. Some members have the storm actually backing into Florida. So Florida obviously has to stay on guard over the next few days, but it's not too unimportant here when you see all these members shifting the storm all the way west into Florida over the next several days. Well, let's now take a look at last night's GFS model run. This is the forecast map for tomorrow afternoon. Still no sign of the storm here east of Florida. Let's now jump ahead to the 72-hour forecast map. Some signs of the storm now here over the northern Bahamas. This is early Thursday morning. Let's now jump ahead. Now here is a 96-hour forecast from last night's 06Z run for Thursday night, early Friday morning. Again, similar to the European, it has it backing into the north and west, coming dangerously close to the southeast U.S. coastline. Let's now jump ahead to a 120-hour forecast. This is for late Friday night, early Saturday morning. still close to the Carolina coastline. Some very strong winds and heavy rain right along the coast. The center stays just offshore. Again, this is the GFS model run. High pressure pushing off the northeast coastline. By this time, jump out another 24 hours. And here, last night's 06Z GFS model run, like the European, does turn it north and east. The prior runs of the GFS had it hugging the coast a little bit more. There was an adjustment between the 0Z run and the 06Z run in the GFS. We'll see if that trend continues, if it mimics the European more so with a northeast turn once it reaches the latitude of, let's say, North Carolina. This is early Sunday morning. Storm system does cause some rain here, according to GFS, up along the I-95 corridor, really from D.C. all the way up to Boston. Let's now go out another 24 hours, and it's off way up in northern New England here by early Monday morning. Notice the blues here. This is a cold air mass wrapping in on the backside of this, causing some snow in southeastern Canada about a week from now on the backside of what will remain from Hurricane Matthew. So still lots of questions. Such a slow mover. We obviously have to pay attention from Florida to Maine over the next several days. In the immediate future, it looks like it'll pound away at Jamaica and eastern Cuba, but worst of all, Haiti looks like it'll take the brunt of the action of what is still a major hurricane in the Central Caribbean, Matthew, over the next few days. Then the Bahama Island chain will suffer for a few days as it only grinds slowly north and west through that island chain towards the southeast U.S. coastline. So stay tuned to VencoreWeather.com for updates as we go through the next few days. That's it for now. I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.